I brought name tags in case I didn't know about this.
So cute. Yeah, I like your dress.
Yes, like your hat. Really. I was just talking about why I write too much in my classes. Are you filming now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because, and I think writing is great, especially when the kids are older, but for German and French especially, you know, if I try to teach them, wie geht's dir, how are you? And then if I write it down, they look at this and they go, wie geht's dir? And I want them to pronounce it correctly. I want them to have the good pronunciation. And so if I write it too early on before they've had a chance to really learn wie geht's dir, then they're always going to pronounce it wrong. In Spanish, it's not so bad because you pronounce every syllable and every consonant, right? But with French and German in particular, it's so hard. I don't want them to pronounce it the way it's written. I want them to pronounce it the way I say it, or the way, you know, an even better native speaker would say it. So anyway, I was just going to make that point that that's why I don't write too much. Eventually later I do some writing, but start off. So, okay. So Lucia, I'm going to start off just telling you a little bit about how, where I'm coming from in my class, and you can take this copy of this. This is what we're going to go over today. So in my music linguist business that I co-created about 15 years ago, we started teaching young children, infants through 8 years old, foreign languages through music. And the reason we started that is because how do you teach a 2-year-old a foreign language? They can't read, they can't write, but everyone responds to music. And so we started putting all the vocabulary we wanted them to learn into song. And then in the classes, we sing songs with a whole bunch of props, visuals that they use for every, there's a prop or a visual or a movement for every vocabulary word or concept in all the songs. And so we can do a movement or show a visual for everything. So it's a pretty easy way to convey the meaning of a song. And since these are little kids, of course, the themes are not very complicated. It's very simple. And it's kid-friendly themes. Life at home, life on the pond, life in the ocean, life on the farm. So we use a lot of animal themes. So, and then the kids take a CD home, so they're listening to it at home and during the week as much as possible. And then when they come into class, they're already singing the songs and they're familiar with them. And then we work on comprehension with the visuals that we have. So I'm trying to use that idea in the World Language Initiative classes, and I do use my music to some extent, but I'm trying to add, with the older kids, you can't do just the song, so I'm trying to add in enriching type activities and go a step further with the older kids. And also I'm trying to figure out a way to adapt this to other languages, because music lingua is only French, German, and Spanish, and we have, Arabic and Mandarin, and Russian, and so how could we use some of these strategies? It's not going to work for everybody, of course, but if somebody wants to use these teaching ideas, how can we use them in the other languages? So what I've come up with is a couple of mini lessons that I feel could be adapted to all the different languages, and we're not really singing, we're just using the props and the ideas, but without using the music. We're still trying to get some rhythms and things like that going, because that helps kids, I think, to remember words. But so each one of these that you have is a mini lesson we're going to do today. So we're going to pretend like we're in a class, we're going to learn. I figured I'd do German, because nobody knows German, right? And that way, everyone's on the same plane.
Yeah, that's great. That's perfect.
And so we're just going to learn some German, and I'll run through the lessons the way I've written them out there, pretty much, and you can see all the different ways that I would present some of these themes. Okay, so we're going to start. So the main goals are to have lots of visuals and props, things that they can do with their hands, that they can hold, that they can play with, because that keeps them busy. We're trying to teach a small subset of vocabulary that we can then build on each class time. And just like you do, I really like your Arabic classes. It's very similar to my philosophy that, you learn a little bit and you add in more vocabulary so that you have more things to talk about. And try to get them up and move them often. Obviously, that's important. And to give them lots of context. That's what the visuals are for understanding. So I always start a class with greetings. And I feel like if we start with the greeting, then we can the kids get better at that as time goes on, and eventually it's very familiar. And that's the first thing somebody says to them, oh, do you know French? Bonjour, and if they can respond, then that empowers them and makes them feel good. So the first thing we're gonna do, and I use a lot of paper plates because they are so cheap. You can draw pictures on them, they're sturdy, and you can hand them out to kids. If they break or rip, you can do more of them. So I'll usually start off teaching them the different times of the day so that we know how to greet each other. So, guten Tag! Guten Tag! Guten Tag, Freunde! We're going to learn how to greet each other on the different times of the day. So in the morning, our greeting is Guten Morgen. Can you all make a big Sonne? Can you show me a big Sonne? Eine Sonne. Guten Morgen is when the sun is just coming up. Guten Morgen. Und dann in der Mitte des Tages, Guten Tag. Guten Tag. And when I say wiederhol, that means repeat. Wiederhol. Guten Tag. Guten Tag. Und dann Guten Abend. Guten Abend. Und dann, wenn der Mond aufgeht, der Mond, wiederhol, Mond. Dann sagen wir, oh, gute Nacht. Gute Nacht. Oh, gute Nacht. Also, noch einmal. Guten Morgen. Guten Morgen. Guten Tag. Guten Tag. Guten Abend. Guten Abend. Gute Nacht. Gute Nacht. Gute Nacht. So today we're meeting in the morgen. So our greeting is Guten Morgen. Guten Morgen. Guten Morgen. And if I want to ask somebody how they are, we shake hands and I ask, wie geht's dir? Wie geht's dir? Wie geht's dir? Wie geht's dir? Normally if we answer, es geht mir gut. Gut. Und Daumen auf gut. Gut. But if you're not so good, you can say, es geht mir nicht gut. Nicht gut. Okay. So I'm going to have ein Ball. Und ich hole dir den Ball und ich frage, wie geht's dir? Wie geht's dir? Und du antwortest, es geht mir gut oder es geht mir nicht gut. And I always corally respond. If the kids are not comfortable responding by themselves, we'll say it together. Okay, so, guten Morgen, Lucia. Wie geht's dir? Es geht mir gut oder nicht gut? Gut, sehr gut. Okay, wunderbar. Guten Morgen, Kristen.
Guten Morgen.
Wie geht's dir?
Gut.
Gut? Let's say the whole thing. Es geht mir gut. Sehr gut. Das freut mich. Guten Morgen, Mulut.
Guten Morgen.
Wie geht's dir?
Es geht mir gut.
Gut, sehr gut. Das freut mich. Guten Morgen, Hannah. Wie geht's dir?
Es geht
Mir?
mir gut.
Oh, sehr gut. Das freut mich. And then each class I might introduce a few others. Es geht mir ziemlich gut. They love schlecht. Or they love ausgezeichnet. It means excellent, and it has so many syllables that they like to say it. But when I teach a long word with a lot of syllables, which of course German has a lot of syllables, we clap the syllables. So ausgezeichnet, so that they separate out the syllables. Ausgezeichnet. Yeah, ausgezeichnet, ausgezeichnet, ausgezeichnet. It was kind of get silly. So I always start off with a greeting like that, and then every class will add in a few more. Pretty soon they're telling me, oh, I'm tired. So how do you say that? And then, oh, ich bin müde. So we learn another word, and I just, as they ask how to say something, we'll add that in. Okay, done. Let's learn how to say our names. So ich heiße Gigi. Ich heiße Gigi. Wiederhol. Ich heiße. My name is. Ich heiße Gigi. Is my name. And we are going to let some animals help us learn our names. So ich heiße Kuh. Wiederhol. Kuh. Kuh. Und ich heiße Hund. Hund. Und ich heiße Schwein.
Schwein.
Schwein. Und ich heiße Hahn. Hahn. Und ich heiße Pferd.
Pferd.
Pferd. Ich heiße Pferd. Okay. Also, ich heiße Kuh. Wiederholen. Ich heiße Kuh. Ich heiße Hund. Ich heiße Schwein. Ich heiße Hahn. Und ich heiße Pferd. Pferd. Ich gebe ihr alle ein Tier. Du heißt Kuh, du heißt Hund, du heißt Schwein und du heißt Hahn. Und ich heiße Pferd. Also, of course that always goes to the boy that will do it over and over again. Okay, also ich frage dir, wie heißt du? Wie heißt du? What's your name? Wie heißt du? Also, Kuh. Du heißt Kuh, sehr gut. Wie heißt du?
Ich heiße Chris. Wait, no, Hund. Hund.
Du heißt Hund. Wie heißt du?
Ich
Ich?
heiße
Schwein. Schwein, sehr
Ich
gut.
heiße Schwein.
Du heißt Schwein. Wie heißt du?
Ich heiße Hahn.
Du heißt Hahn, sehr gut. Du heißt Hahn. Okay, wer hat die Kuh? Wer hat die Kuh? Lucia, hast du die Kuh? Gib mir bitte die Kuh. Dankeschön. Wer hat das Schwein? Mutter hat das Schwein. Dankeschön. Wer hat der Hund? Du hast den Hund. Gut. Und wer hat den Hahn? Sehr gut, du hast den Hahn. Sehr gut. Also, wiederhol bitte. Hahn,
Hahn.
Pferd,
Pferd.
Hund, Schwein
Schwein.
und Kuh. Sehr gut. Okay. Jetzt üben wir mit unserem eigenen Namen. With our own names, okay? Ich heiße Gigi. Wie heißt du?
Ich heiße Mulut. Wie heißt du?
Ich heiße Gigi. Wie heißt du?
Ich heiße Lucia. Wie heißt du? Ich heiße Kristen. Wie heißt du? Ich heiße Hannah. Wie heißt du?
Ich heiße Gigi. Sehr gut. And one of the things, and that's great to roll the ball back and forth, but often I'll have it roll it back to me. And partly it's because then I can always roll it to them, and I always model the question so they know how to answer it.
Oh.
If I say ich heiße Gigi, wie heißt du each time, then they've just heard ich heiße Gigi, so they know to respond ich heiße with their name. Otherwise, they'll respond with my question. If I just say wie heißt du, they'll say wie heißt Kristen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's good to model your response each time. Ich heiße Gigi, wie heißt du? Ich heiße Gigi, wie heißt du? And then they're more used to saying ich heiße in their name. So that's helpful. Okay, noch einmal wiederholen. Hahn, Pferd, Schwein,
Schwein.
Hund
Hund.
und Kuh. Kuh, sehr gut. Okay, und noch einmal, ich heiße, wiederholen. Ich heiße. Gut. Okay. And one of the reasons I pull in the animals is to give them a context then for doing other things. So once they've learned the animals, and if we have a class of 10, we'll have 10 animals, right? And so they'll know the names of 10 animals after a while. And then we can use those animal names to learn other vocabulary, colors and environments, and can count them. And it's just nice for them to have that kid-friendly context of animals. Okay. So, all right. Along that line, let's do this. Let's practice. So, in order to get them to quickly learn the animal names, so that we can then use them for other things, not usually the first class, but like the second or third class, I might really play a game that helps them to learn the animals well. So I'll have, for example, a relay race. And let's do that right now, just so you can see how well that helps them to learn the animals. So, wir machen einen Staffellauf. and Staffellauf. We're going to have a relay race.
Staffellauf.
Und wir
I love
brauchen,
that.
wir brauchen 2 von allen. 2 Kühe, 2 Schweine, 2 Pferde, 2 Hahn. Das ist nicht gut. 2, ist das gut? Maybe we don't have to do everything. Okay, instead of one, we're going to have Katze. Katze, okay? So, wir haben 2 Schweine, 2 Pferde, 2 Katzen, 2 Kühe. Und so, stehen wir auf alle. Und ich mache 2 Kühe hier, 2 Katzen, 2 Schweine und 2 Pferde. And I always bring my rope. So this is the starting line here. Okay. Und alle Kinder, wir haben 2 Mannschaften. Du und du sind in Mannschaft 1. Also du stehst hier hinter der Linie. Okay. Und Lucia und Christine, ihr seid auf die andere Mannschaft. Okay. Du und du. Und wir haben Mannschaft 1 und Mannschaft 2. Du bist 1 und ihr seid 1 und ihr seid 2. 1 und 2, ja? Und ich, die Lehrerin, ich bin Mannschaft 3. Okay? So, the goal of this is the first person in each line, I will call out an animal. I'll say, coo. And the first person, whoever's the first one in line, you have to run up, and the first one to hold up the coo gets a point for their team. Okay? And then you go back and you go to the end of the line. If people are not paying attention, then die Lehrerin bekommt einen Punkt. Then I get one. At the end, we'll see who has the most Punkte. Okay? And that's a good way to help them make sure, you know, because if they see that I go up and give myself a point, they're like, oh, no! You know? Suddenly they're not getting as many points. So, okay, seid ihr bereit? Huluk, du bist dran und, oder Herne, du bist dran und Lucia? Okay, der erste ist Kuh. Okay, vielleicht Herne hat dafür einen Punkt bekommen. Okay, zunächst, wir haben Pferd. Gut. Und zunächst, das ist Katze. Du bist dran, Katze. Oh, das ist vielleicht, ja, die beiden haben uns jetzt. Und zunächst haben wir dann Pferd. Das ist vielleicht Unicorn, ja.
Yes.
Das ist auch ein Pferd. Okay, gut. Okay.
Yeah, you get it.
Okay, and so you see how it goes. And so if we run through all the animals, and the kids actually love relay races because it gets them up and moving. And if I have 10 animals here, we can go through them maybe twice. And by the time we're done, they know all the animals. And their teammates can help them. If you run up and you don't know it, they can say, fan, you know, or they can call out the animals so that they're helping each other and they're learning the words at the same time. And you can practice, you can teach things like ready, set, go, run fast, teams and points, and you know, you can, as you're speaking in the target language, there's a lot of words that they can understand in context in doing a game like this. Okay? So, setzen wir bitte, kommt wieder zurück. And you can do a relay race with any set of vocabulary that you're trying to teach them. I do try to do them with almost everything. It's a good way to get them up and moving. Okay. As well as a relay race. So with a relay race, I'm saying the words, right? I'm saying cool, and they have to signal their comprehension by running up and picking it up. But one way to get them to speak the word is to play around the world. And I love this game. The kids, once they know the words pretty well, it's a great one to get them to say the words. So let's do it, since we're kind of learning the animals, let's play around the world. Basically, we sit at a table that has one less chair than person. So if you forward there, we'd sit at a table with 3 chairs. We'll just pretend. Let's go ahead and do that. And we'll just pretend like there's only 3 chairs. Just sit at a chair. And again, I have the teams 1, 2, and 3 here. And okay, Luke, you're standing, so you stay standing. And so he's going to stand behind the first person, so you can stand behind him. So yeah, gives me this over. And I'll have whatever I'm trying to teach them here. So, ich hatte ein Tier. Ich hatte ein Tier und du musst der Erste, so we'll say it in English the first time and then they know exactly how to play it the next couple of times. I'm going to hold up an animal and the first one of you two to tell me the word in German wins that round, and then you move to the next person. Whoever wins moves, whoever doesn't sits down. Okay? And then we just keep moving around. Okay, so
Cool.
Cool. Cow is the wrong language. So, du sitzt hier und du stehst auf.
Okay.
Und das hier, du gehst hinter Hannah. Ja. Okay. Zunächst. Schwein, gut, Hannah. Gut. Okay. Katze, sehr gut. Okay, yes, this is good.
I go around there, right? Okay.
Keep going around.
Schwein.
Schwein, gut, Leute.
You got it first.
Gut. Ja, Schwein. Und Katze. Good. Oh, Luke keeps going. Okay, so jetzt, du gehst hinter Hannah.
Und
Yeah.
jetzt.
Pferd. Oh, no. Ja, Pferd. Pferd, du hast recht. Okay, so, and you can see then how this works. You just keep going, and it moves really fast, and it gives the kids a chance to say the words then, not just to understand what you're saying. Okay, so that's another game that we'd like to play once they know the words. And you can do this, we do this with numbers, like we'll hold up a number and have to say, 1, 2, 3, whatever it is. Anything, just like the real ways. Okay, komm, setz du alles. Okay. So basically in review, I like to start each class with a reading, and then we move on to something else. Usually it takes 5 minutes, where we've done, half an hour of this. And then eventually you've got just a lot more to talk about in the next subsequent classes. So let's move on to some body parts. These guys play. And one nice thing about this is, once they know body parts, they can dress themselves, they can talk about clothing, they can talk about what hurts, and, so there's a lot of things that are good for body parts. So every single language has probably some kind of head and shoulders, knees and toes song, right? Is there one in Arabic? And you can adapt it.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's one in Chinese too. So, stehen wir auf und singen wir Kopf und Schultern, Knie und Zehen. So auf Deutsch, in German, it's Kopf, Schultern, Knie, Zehen. Gut, Kopf und Schultern, Knie und Zehen. Gut. Und dann Ohren, Augen, Mund und Nase. Ohren, Augen, Mund und Nase. Good. So we're just going to sing head and shoulders, knees and toes, and you can make up whatever one in your language that, well, I know it exists in French and in Spanish, in the other languages as well, Mandarin or Arabic. So, Hände auf den Kopf, Kopf, singen wir. Kopf und Schultern, Knie und Zehen, Knie und Zehen. Kopf und Schultern, Knie und Zehen, Knie und Zehen. Ohren, Augen, Mund und Nase. Kopf und Schultern, Knie und Zehen, Knie und Zehen. Gut! Okay, spielen wir Simon sagt. Simon sagt. Simon says. Do you know Simon sagt?
Ja.
Okay. Simon sagt, wir berühren die Teile des Körpers und wenn Simon sagt, dann musst du das tun. Wenn Simon das nicht sagt, musst du das nicht tun. Okay? Simon sagt, berührt den Kopf. Simon sagt, berührt die Knie. Berührt die Zehen. Simon hat nicht gesagt. Simon hat nicht gesagt. So you only said if Simon says.
Okay.
Then you do it. If Simon does, if I don't say Simon says, Simon sagt, then you don't do it. Okay? Okay, and normally then those kids sit down, but I don't have them sit down. I let them continue to play for a while, unless we really know it well. Okay, Simon sagt, berührt die Ohren. Berührt die Nase. Simon hat nicht gesagt.
That's me.
Simon sagt, berührt die Zehen. Berührt den Kopf. Gut. Simon sagt, berührt die Augen. Simon sagt, berührt die Ohren. Simon sagt, berührt Schultern.
Oh yeah. I'm
Hat sie gesagt?
really tired today. Apparently.
Okay, so we could go through that, play Simon Says a few times. I think partly when you're playing a game, you're trying to teach them the body parts, but the game distracts them from the fact that they're trying to remember the words. And so in the process of playing the game, they're remembering the words pretty well too. Okay, so done. And another one you could, if you have the hokey pokey in your language, I know that it exists in Spanish and French and German too. That song, I don't know if you know, you put your right foot in, you take your right foot out, you put your right foot in, and you shake it all about. That's a really fun one too, if you can even just come up with a simple song in your language. Okay, so now we know the body parts pretty well. Setzen wir uns wieder. Und let's learn some Kleider. Let's learn some Kleider. Hier ist mein Freund, der Pirat. Mein Piratenfreund.
Oh.
Did you draw this?
I think I did.
It's amazing.
Okay, here's my Pirat one. And actually, I just am putting this one in, but I have some that have just a regular person in it too. Maybe that's a little scary for some kids. Okay, das ist unser Freund, der Pirat. Und er ist kalt. Es ist ihm kalt. Er hat keine Kleider. Er braucht etwas zu tragen. Also, when I say I'm getting dressed, I say, ich ziehe mich an. Ich ziehe mich an. I dress myself. Ich ziehe mich an. So, ich ziehe meine Hose an. I put my Hose an. Okay, wiederholt. Ich ziehe meine Hose an. Ich ziehe meine Hose an. Ich ziehe mein Hemd. Wiederholt. Hemd. Ich ziehe mein Hemd an. Ich ziehe meine Mütze an. Ich ziehe meine Mütze an. Ich ziehe meine Strümpfe an. And as we're putting these on, let's touch our own clothing as we're putting it on. So, ich ziehe meine Strümpfe an. Was sind meine Strümpfe? Strümpfe. Ich ziehe meine Strümpfe an. Gut. Und wo sind deine Hose? Habt ihr Hose? Du hast keine Hose, aber Hose. Und Hemd. Und Mütze. Das kommt hier auf dem Kopf. Ja, Kopf. Mütze kommt auf den Kopf. Und ich ziehe meine. Es ist heute kalt. Also ich ziehe meine Handschuhe Handschuhe an. Ich ziehe meine
Like handshoe?
Genau. Ja. Meine Handschuhe an. Handschuhe und ich ziehe meinen Gürtel an. Meinen Gürtel. Ich ziehe meinen Gürtel an.
For Guatemala.
Für Guatemala. Ja. Okay. Also, ich gebe ihr alle ein Stück Kleider und wir ziehen ihn an. Du bekommst die Mütze. Du bekommst das Hemd. Du bekommst den Gürtel. Du bekommst die Handschuhe. Und du bekommst auch die Hose. Und ein Strumpf. Und ein Strumpf. Du hast 2 Handschuhe, also das ist alles. Okay, jetzt zieh bitte, Kristin, zieh das Hemd an. Kristin zieht das Hemd an. Gut. Und Lucia, zieh die Mütze an. Und Lulu, zieh nur ein Strumpf an. Zieh einen Strumpf an. Sehr gut. Und Hannah, zieh einen Handschuh an. Sehr gut. Und Lucia, zieh die Hose an. Und Christian, zieh der andere Strumpf an. Gut. Und Hannah, zieh der andere Handschuh an. Sehr gut. Okay, und jetzt, wir brauchen den Gürtel. Das ist die Hose nicht runterfallen. Mulut, zieh die Gürtel an. Die Gürtel, sehr gut. Okay, jetzt, so then, we'll maybe go through all the clothing like that and let them dress them. But then, since we've just learned the body parts, we can do some crossover with the two. So, Hannah, bitte. Oh, okay, first I'm going to take them all. Ich nehme die Mütze. Wiederhol bitte. Mütze. Hemd. Handschuhe. Gürtel. Hose. Strümpfe. Okay. So, alle Kleider hier. Hannah, mach die Handschuhe auf die Zehen. Mach einen Handschuh an die Zehen. Sehr gut. Okay. Mulud, mach die Mütze an die Hand. Die Mütze an die Hand. Sehr gut. Kristen, mach einen Strumpf an die Nase. Mach einen Strumpf an die Nase.
Poor guy.
Arme. Lucille, mach das Hemd auf die Knie. Mach das Hemd auf die Knie. Gut. Und ich mach den Gürtel an den Arm vielleicht. So, and the kids can really go crazy with this. They really have fun putting the different things on the different parts. So you're reinforcing not only the clothing but the body parts here too. And we would just play this kind of crazy dressing a couple of times and let them put the clothing on various body parts. And it's a way to just repeat the words over and over and over again, right? You're trying to get in all those repetitions for the body parts, the clothing, all of that. So we'll do that as, till we've got all the clothing in, maybe over and over again. And then I collect them again. Mulud, gib mir bitte das Hemd. And in the beginning, I will touch that body part, but after a while, I try not to and just see if they know what it is. So das Hemd, Dankeschön. Und Hannah, gib mir bitte einen Strumpf. Gut. Und Lucia, gib mir bitte das Gürtel. Sehr gut. Und Christian, gib mir bitte die Mütze. Sehr gut. Und Mulud, gib mir bitte einen Handschuh. Ein Handschuh, sehr gut. Okay, so good. You can see that you're already learning some of the clothing and
Die Pirat. My friend the Pirate.
oh, und wer kann mich der Pirat geben? Gib mir bitte den Pirat. Dankeschön.
Give me.
Gib mir,
Give me.
gib mir.
Gib mir.
Gib mir.
Give me.
Give to me. Give me. Good. Okay. So then I would also, with the clothing, you could also do a relay race. Same thing, you know, with all the different kinds of clothing. You can do more shorts and jackets, and you know, I have in this one here. There's a ski suit or a one-piece suit. So in order to really learn the clothing well, I wouldn't do all of these in one class, but the first time I would maybe introduce some. Then the next class I would review those and add in a few other clothing. And eventually we would play the relay race to learn them well, and maybe do around the world where the teacher holds up, you know, this, and they have to say, what was that? I'm sure. Right, lift it up. And
No, it's next to the back. Next to the back. What, on the couch.
Oh, here, okay. And yeah, so then once we're playing around the world, we're actually saying the names themselves, right? Instead of just one. So yeah, same thing. I just reinforce everything with relay races and around the world, really.
Awesome.
Okay. Let's see. What's there? So this is something that Suki actually,
I love this game.
the pumpkin face, I just wanted to bring this up because this is another way to, a game that they can play and something they can take home. And it's really simple, but it was pretty fun. We did it last year. It's, and this is in that thing too, the whole description for it. We just cut out a pumpkin, and this is a good time of year because it's Halloween, you know. Give everybody a pumpkin, and then I cut out, this was a bit of a little time consuming, but I cut out a whole bunch of Nase, Ohren, Augen, und Mund, and then we divided up into two teams, and I had just a little box or something like this with the words Nase, Ohr, Mund, or Augen, or Kürbis, which is the name for pumpkin, Kürbis, in there, and then each team would take turns pulling out a word, like this is das Auge, so they could take each one of them could take an Auge and put it on their Kürbis, and then the next time they pull out a word, it might be Ohr, and so they can put that on, but if they pull out an Auge again, and maybe then they have their second Auge, so then they're finished. If they pull out Auge again, then they just have to wait, and the other team gets to go. So each team pulls out a word, Auge, Nase, and the first team to win is the one that has zwei Augen, eine Nase, und ein Mund. And also, I had the word for Kürbis, for pumpkin in here too, so they have like 5 things. And so they just, since they keep pulling these words out and reading them over and over and over again, by the time they're done, they know those 5 words really, really well. And then they can glue them on. I brought some glue. And then on the back, they had, these are really cheap to buy at the just stickers, like shipping labels. And I print them, I use them a lot to stick things on. So I just put the pumpkin and then the words so that they can stick it on the back when they take it home. And they've got it at home with the translations or everything on it. And these are pretty cheap and easy to get. So that's how that game is played, and it's a good reinforcement for body parts and a timely theme.
You could do it with anything too.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do it in the springtime or Christmas or
Actually, right, that's true. You could have just a different. Pumpkin is nice because we are cutting out eyes, nose, and mouth at Halloween time, but you could use it for any kind of person or something. Okay. So, and then there was one more. Oh, this game. Did you play chicken jack?
No.
Did you? So this is really fun, and I think the kids love it. And you can do it again in any language. It's really easy to adapt. So on there, I put a link to a YouTube video which I would watch. It's in French. But I would watch it to just see how it goes. She does a really good job with it. And so basically, okay, stehen wir auf. Wir üben die Teile des Körpers. We're going to practice the body parts. Okay, so, and a lot of these are body parts that you probably haven't learned yet, so it's a chance to learn more. So, Daumen, Daumen. Die Daumen vorne.
Daumen vor.
And so it's body parts and directions. So thumbs in front, Daumen vorne.
Daumen vorne.
And then we say, chicky chacky, chicky chacky, chicky chack, chicky chacky, chicky chacky, chicky chack, Actually, that's French. In German, we say chicky chacky, but it doesn't matter. Okay, Daumen vorne.
Daumen vorne.
Ellbogen hinten.
Ellbogen hinten.
Und chicken chack, 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 Daumen vorne.
Daumen vorne.
Ellbogen hinten.
Ellbogen hinten.
Knie gebeugt. Knie gebeugt. Und chicken chack, 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 Daumen vorne.
Daumen vorne.
Ellbogen hinten.
Ellbogen hinten.
Knie gebeugt.
Knie gebeugt.
Den Po in die Luft.
Die Po.
Dann ab die Po. Und chicken chack, 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 Daumen vorne.
Daumen vorne.
Ellbogen hinten.
Ellbogen hinten.
Knie gebeugt.
Knie gebeugt.
Den Po in die Luft.
Po in die Luft.
Und was noch? Oh, in die Füße nach innen.
Füße nach innen.
Und chicken chack, 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 Daumen vorne.
Daumen vorne.
Ellbogen hinten.
Ellbogen
Knie
hinten.
gebeugt.
Knie gebeugt.
Po in die Luft.
Po in die Luft.
Füße nach innen.
Füße nach innen.
Und der Kopf bewegt sich.
Kopf bewegt sich.
Und chicken chack, 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 You can keep going with a bunch of them. At the very end it says, und die Kinder springen herum, and the kids jump around, so they can really, hop around and all of that. So you could add whatever movements you wanted to do. And by the time you're done, everyone's kind of,
Tired.
Yeah, it is really good. Look at the video, because she does a really good, nice job of it with the whole group. Okay, so
Sorry, I'm gonna eat in front of you, is it? Sorry.
Although normally in my class, we don't eat during
Yeah,
class at all.
I'm sure.
Okay. So let's see. Let's go with some. Do you guys want to take a break? How are we doing? Anybody need to get up? Okay.
I think I saw you at Paquiza last night.
I
was like,
I was
we were both
like-
with big groups, like, yeah, that's cool. Love that one.
Oh yeah.
Still haven't been there.
You gotta go.
Oh, yeah, no. So
I'll go
good.
with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Hannah was there too. Or...
Yeah, it was her birthday.
Oh, wow, that's great.
That's my phone.
Yeah, she was happy. So now
Yeah. It was like all of her coworkers and like really close friends. Yeah.
That was my first salon in town. With some friends,
Awesome.
neighbors.
Whoa.
Okay. So wir lernen die Nummer. Die Nummer. Wiederholt. Die Nummer.
Die
Nummer.
Nummer.
Die Nummer.
You know,
Español. Die Nummer. Okay, zählen wir auf Deutsch. Let's count in German. Just repeat the numbers after me, okay? Wiederholen nach mir. 1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
4,
4,
5,
5,
6,
6,
7,
7,
8,
8,
9,
9,
10.
10.
10, sehr gut. Zählen wir, während wir die Nummern ansehen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is one place where it is really helpful to look at the numbers because, it's not a different language, but that way they can connect the sound with the visual as well. And even the really young kids usually know how to read the numbers. So we'll count a couple of times, try to count as much as we can, get those repetitions in. Wie viel, how many? Wie viele Studenten sind in der Klasse? Zählen wir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Studenten in der Klasse. Wie viele Füße? Wie viele Füße sind in der Klasse? Zeig mir die Füße. Wie viele Füße? Zählen wir die Füße. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Es gibt 10 Füße in der Klasse. Und wie viele Kühe haben wir? Wie viele Kühe sind im Stall, im Farm? Zählen wir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Es gibt 10 Kühe im Stall, in the barn. 10 Kühe im Stall. Also, was machen wir mit diesen Kühen? Let's, after a while, after they've learned this, we'll count them backwards as well, so they don't just learn the sound of it, obviously I think everybody does that. So we'll practice with the numbers a little bit, counting various things in the room. Und dann zählen wir nochmal die Kühe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 Kühe. Good. And if we count something that they already know, then it's again reinforcing just one word. Okay, so let's practice. Üben wir mit die Nummer. Ich mache eine Nummer irgendwo im Zimmer und ihr müsst zu diesem Nummer laufen. Okay, so ich mache 1 hier zum Beispiel. Hier ist 1. Hier ist 2. Hier ist 3. Hier ist 4. Hier ist 5. Hier ist 5. Here is it's kind of a small area. Let's get everything up off the 6. Does that work? 6. Here is 7. 7 here. 7. Here is 8. Here is 9. Und hier ist 10. Okay? So, stehen wir auf. Stay auf. Und yeah, let's maybe put your bottle up a little bit so that, and this is, we will not necessarily, but this is another way to get the kids to get up and move and really get them to run. Okay, ich sage eine Nummer und alle müssen zu dieser Nummer laufen. Okay? Also Nummer 2. 2. Alle müssen zu 2. Das ist 7. Das ist 7. 2?
Yeah.
2. And I want to make sure everybody sees it too, so that, because some of the kids will just follow everybody else and not really know where they're going. So we all look at it and say 2. Okay, und jetzt lauf zu 3. 3. And the first time I'll usually hold up the fingers so that. Lauf zu 6. 6.
6.
Sehr gut, 6. Lauf zu 1. 1. 1. Gut. Oh, 1. 1.
Oh, yeah.
1. Lauf zu 9. 9. Sehr gut, lauf zu 9. Lauf zu 4. 4.
Careful.
And if they can't find it, I have them run through the numbers. Here, because that looks helpful too. Lauf zu 7. 7. Good. Okay, and so you see that, and usually they're running, so they're really, getting up and moving around. And so after we do that a couple of times, then they really do get the numbers pretty well, and they're not only saying them, but they understand the meaning of it too. So, and then as I collect them, we'll repeat them again. 9,
9,
2,
2,
8,
8,
1, 7,
7,
6,
6,
5,
5,
3,
3,
oh, 10,
10,
und 4.
4,
Und did I get that one?
9.
9
9 was here.
Is it still there?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I think I messed that one up. Alright, let me just make sure that I have them, so we can say it together again. 4,
4,
6,
6,
3,
3,
5,
5,
6,
6,
7,
7,
1,
1,
8,
8,
2,
2,
19. Okay, good. 1, 2, 6, 7, 19. Good. Okay. And then again with the numbers, I would do a relay race and or around the world,
Cool.
just to give them the chance to really know them well. Oh, and another good thing to do with numbers is numbers bingo. And even if they're kind of active and running around, they like bingo. Do you guys ever play bingo? Yeah? It seems to really help them to sit down and get kind of quiet. Maybe because they're focusing on the game. I have a numbers bingo here somewhere. It's there's one that you can print out if you want to use it. There's 4 different options for it. And then I just keep a little thing of beans with me, and then that's what we use for the bingo. You know bingo, don't you?
Yeah.
You know this game. And
It's
so,
good with that. They might just do it and it works. Yeah.
yes, everything. In
It's
fact,
just
I've got a body parts bingo and a foods bingo and numbers. And so, yeah, and I've created a bunch of them, so I'll put those up on there too. If you can't find one in your language, you can look on there to try different clothing and stuff. And actually, I'm not a very good artist, but if anybody is, and if they want to draw some images for things like bingo or anything that you want me to laminate and print out, I'm a laminator, so I'm happy to print that out, and then we can make a bunch of copies so that everybody can use them.
Yeah.
Okay, some numbers. All right. And once you know the numbers, of course, then you can springboard other things, calendar and the days of the week. How old are you? Once we learn the numbers, we start with the art plus two, and that might be one of the things one of the greetings we ask at the beginning of the class. How are you? What's your name? How old are you? What's the weather? I'll say, what's the weather like today? And so those are little things we can add onto our dialogue at the beginning of class so that we have more and more things to talk about. What time is it? If you're old enough to understand that. Okay, so now let's look at food. Das Essen.
Das Essen.
Essen.
This is good.
Essen. Das Essen. Das Essen. Yeah, das Essen. So, I don't have a lot of food in here, but I actually ordered a whole bunch more for my classes, and there's always a bunch of stuff that I can't use that I have extra of. So as soon as I get it, I'll take the extras and bring that in here too. I was hoping to come up with a couple of bags of food that are just one of each, and so if a bunch of people want to borrow them, because I know these are nice to have for practicing with other things. So I'll try to get a couple bags that have different, copies of foods in each one. Use them for these things. So, here's a food bingo is in here. So again, I use these foods because they're just so awesome for a lot of different things. So we'll start off with just maybe a few foods and then add them in subsequent classes. Heute lernen wir das Essen. Wiederholt. Das Essen. Das Essen. Essen. Das Essen. Alles ist Essen. Ich habe Hunger. Ich habe Hunger. Ich habe Hunger. Ich möchte essen. I would like to eat. Ich möchte essen. Also, was haben wir hier? Hier haben wir Something that's practical. Otherwise, it's not practical. I don't even know the word for starfruit. Wenn es das Spaghetti? Spaghetti. Das ist nicht so schwer. Aber das ist Spaghetti. Spaghetti, Kuchen vielleicht, Schokolade vielleicht, Mais und Orange und Bohnen. Ja, das ist Brot.
Sauce.
That's the
Cheese.
cheese, right?
Käse.
Käse. Oh, nice.
Yes,
Käse.
ja, Käse. Okay, also wiederhol bitte, and this would be more practical food. Some of these are not super practical, unless they're ethnic, like croissant or something. Wiederhol bitte Brot,
Brot.
Bohnen,
Bohnen.
Ja, Plätzchen, Plätzchen, Orange,
Orange.
Spaghetti,
Spaghetti.
Kuchen,
Kuchen.
we call that a cake. Orange, Mais,
Mais.
Käse,
Käse.
Apfel,
Apfel.
und Schokolade.
Schokolade.
Zweimal. Schokolade.
Schokolade.
Also, when we want something, we say bitte.
Bitte.
What's the magic word?
Bitte.
Bitte. And when we get something, we say Dankeschön.
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön. Bitte,
Bitte.
und Dankeschön.
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön. Also, ich gebe ihr alle einen Teller. Das ist
Ein Teller.
Ein Teller. Und ich gebe ihr, if you want to ask for something, you say, bitte,
Bitte.
gib mir.
Gib
Gib mir. Please give me. Bitte gib mir das Brot, okay? Also, Hannah, bitte gib mir das Brot. Dankeschön. Mulut, bitte gib mir den Käse. Käse. Ja, sehr gut. Dankeschön. Kristen, bitte gib mir den Mais. Mais. Dankeschön. Lucia, bitte gib mir den Apfel. Den Apfel. Apfel. Ja, Apfel. Gut. Hannah, bitte gib mir die Bohnen. Die Bohnen. Ja, sehr gut. Mulut, bitte gib mir den Orange. Den Orange. Sehr gut. Kristen, bitte gib mir den Kuchen. Kuchen. Ja, sehr gut. Lucia, bitte gib mir den Spaghetti. Sehr gut, danke schön. Hannah, bitte gib mir die Schokolade. Sehr gut, danke schön. Mulut, bitte gib mir das Plätzchen. Plätzchen, sehr gut. Und Kristen, bitte gib mir den Orange. Orange, good. So we'll try to just play with them again, try to get the repetitions in as much as possible, and then we'll work on. Just because I have a song that does this, please pass me, and this is a good way to again to use the word. So, bitte, gib mir. Well, okay, no, I'm sorry. That's what we haven't seen. Yeah. So we're going to pass the food around the circle, asking bitte gib mir, and we're going to repeat the words for the food each time, okay? So bitte gib mir den Käse. Oh, okay, how was I going to do this? I'm trying to kind of modify what I normally do. Okay, so let's go around the circle asking each other what you want, okay? Now that we know how to say bitte gib mir, bitte gib mir. I'll put the food in the center here. Und No. Trying to figure out what the best way to do this is. You ask me. Du fragst mir, okay? Bitte gib mir. Was möchtest du? What do you want? Was möchtest du?
Bitte gib mir Käse.
Den Käse. Was sagst du?
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön. Sehr gut. Und was möchtest du?
Bitte gib mir Apfel. Dankeschön.
Bitte schön. Was
Bitte,
möchtest du?
bitte gib mir
Gib mir
Schokolade.
Schokolade.
Danke schön.
Bitte schön. Was möchtest du, Lucia?
Bitte gib mir Spaghetti.
Bitte schön. Was möchtest du, Anna?
Bitte gib mir Orange. Dankeschön.
Bitte schön. Was möchtest du, Mulu?
Bitte gib mir Right?
Ja.
Bitte gib mir Brot.
Gut.
Dankeschön.
Bitte schön. Was möchtest du, Kristen?
Bitte gib mir Bean.
Bohnen.
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 Bohnen. Danke schön.
Lucia, was möchtest du?
Bitte gib mir
Mais.
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 Dankeschön.
Bitte schön. So, just in any way that you can, just practice with and it's a nice way to learn the polite, whatever the polite words are of your language too. Please and thank you, and however you would normally ask for something like that. Okay, und jetzt, I always collect at the end, it's a good way to review. Wer hat den Käse? Wer hat den Käse? Gut. Wer hat die Schokolade? Schokolade. Gut, gib mir die Schokolade. Wer hat das Brot? Das Brot. Sehr gut. Wer hat den Spaghetti? Sehr gut. Wer hat die Bohnen? Gut. Und wer hat den Apfel? Sehr gut. Und wer hat den Orange? Und wer hat den Mais? Sehr gut. Okay. Und bitte gib mir alle die Teller. Die Teller. Bitte gib mir die Teller. Gut. Dankeschön. Okay. And we can add in new foods each time. And again, the relay race and the around the world. That's a great way to learn all the rest of those. Then I didn't bring a lot of dishes. I have a whole set of just plastic plates and cups and fork, knife, and spoon. And so we'll often just practice setting the table with food because again, it's another way to just learn the dinner conversation, what you do around food and at a restaurant. Learn the words for the dishes, and then we can practice with the food and setting the table. And we'll have a party at the end of the class where everybody sets the table for real, and at the end we bring the food in and do actually eat using the words that we've learned. And once you've got the food, then of course you can add in a lot of things like I like, what do you like, I prefer. Magst du lieber, magst du lieber Käse oder Apfel? Apfel. And so the response, and to teach them the response, I like or I prefer, ich mag lieber Apfel. Magst du lieber. So, what do you like, what do you not like, what do you prefer? And so that can open up a whole, you can then teach things like activities. Do you like soccer? Do you like football? Do you like reading? Do you like skiing? Do you like all those different activities? So once that's a functional phrase, I like or I prefer, because with that you can just add a noun or a verb to the end, and there's so many things that you can talk about. So once we've learned I like, that's maybe another mini lesson, but we can add a whole bunch of different things like activities and colors and stuff. So once that's food and numbers and greetings and some animals. So once they have those down, those 4 lessons, then we actually have quite a bit to talk about. So after about 4 or 5 lessons, I'll try to have them do maybe a mini dialogue. And we'll write, at this point I'll probably write on the board all of the question words that they know, like hello, how are you? I'm fine. What's your name? My name is. what do you like, or what's your favorite this, and then some options for that. What are you doing? I'm getting dressed. Just various things from those various words that we learned. And then I'll send them off by twos to do little dialogues. And then they can come back and practice with each other, and so very often they'll come up with, wie, hallo, or guten Tag, wie geht's dir? Es geht mir gut. Wie heißt du? Ich heiße Gigi. Wie heißt du? Ich heiße Hannah. Maybe they'll say, one of the things that teachers do early on is, what are you doing? Was machst du? Because that gives you a lot of options. Was machst du? Ich ziehe mein Hemd an. What are you doing? I'm putting my shirt on. Was hast du gern? What do you like? Or you say,
Was die K eaten?
Was, yeah.
Die K, right?
Die Kuh.
Die Kuh eaten die K.
Die Kuh
Mais.
frisst, ja, die Kuh frisst Mais. Oder die Kuh macht Käse. Makes Käse. Or, yeah,
But
so
you say eaten.
in German it's der Kuh isst,
Ist.
but an animal has a different word for eating. Frisst.
Frisst.
Yeah, an animal eats
Die
different.
Kuh frisst Mais.
Frisst Mais.
Das ist
Ja, die Kuh frisst Mais. Das stimmt. Die Kuh frisst Mais. Und vielleicht auch Brot. Und Apfel. Yeah, so with just a few words, we have a little bit to talk about. And that's my goal, is to try to give them something to talk about, even if it's not everyday things that they would talk about, with their friends on the playground. I mean, we try to give them some of that, right? Like, what do you like to do? I like to read, play soccer, ski, whatever. But at the same time, it's just more contextual things that kids can understand and play with, that they can talk about a little bit, and that parents can practice with them at home. So that's mainly what I've got.
Cool, thank you.
So good. Dankeschön.
Dankeschön.
Good to share. Any questions?
Ooh, that's great.
So all of those mini lessons are written out in here, as well as I could describe them, the way we did them today. So, you can follow them, you can modify them, just use them as ideas. And if you have any other ideas or how you use them differently that worked really well for you, I'd love to hear, because I do kind of get stuck in my doing the same things that I tend to do all the time.
We all do.
We all do. And so to change it up or modify it, or some way to improve it, I would love to hear. Especially other little games, like a lot of Kristen's little games that she posted that she's come up with are awesome, and I've used a lot of those, or I've modified them in my class for different things too.
Have you seen what Hannah does? She does this really cool thing where she finds once upon a time there was a blah, and you kind of fill in the blanks. So you could get them to make a story about a cow, who's eating, the bonins, right? The beans, or it would be cute.
Yeah, you can
And getting them using the vocab, they can only use the words to fill in the blanks.
Is it a written thing or a?
She does it on a whiteboard.
Yeah, I write out the story ahead of time with all the blanks, and we all say at the same time, un, deux, trois, il était une fois, and then you go really slowly, there was a, and then they're raising their hand and they pick whatever. There was a, last time they did, a rock. Oh, whose name was Rock, who lived in a lake. It's just really funny. And they went to the toilet store and just really funny. And they met a frog and just really weird, but they think it's hysterical.
Exactly, yeah.
And so then
It's kind of like a Mad Lib.
Yeah,
It's so fun.
it's
They love
super
it.
fun, and then we all read it together. Well, then I read it in English. They wanted me to do that so that they get it, and
Yeah.
then we read it in French. So
Yeah,
it's
It's
fun.
so cool.
Could you write that out?
Yeah.
In a little bit more detail, and an example maybe of how.
Yeah.
I want her to do I want everyone to do a training, but I've talked with you about doing those types of
Yeah,
things.
sure.
That would be great.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Fun. And you could even have a word bank. They can only use
Right.
these words, and they could be funny. There was a cheese who met a cow, and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
They'll be
Yeah, no, that would be awesome. That
Yeah.
sounds great, and that goes along with the same idea that you have this subset of vocabulary that you can use, and
Yeah.
if you use it over and over and over again, then at least they learn those really well.
Yeah.
Yes.
They learn them enough to be able to use them, in other ways.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of story asking or
Cool.
storytelling or whatever that is
Oh, cool.
exactly called.
They have many different names now.
Yeah.
There's like arguments among the creators. And, like, go ahead, sorry.
Just having somebody come up to me and say, hier ist sie heißt Hannah. Sie heißt Hannah. Sag hallo Hannah. And everyone says hello. Hannah mag Käse. Hannah mag Apfel nicht. Mag Hannah Käse oder Apfel?
Yeah, the forced choice question.
Yeah, forced choice question.
So good.
Sie mag Käse. Hannah hat eine Kuh. Die Kuh heißt Molly.
Cute.
Sag hallo Molly. Was? Molly ist eine Kuh. Sagt Molly moo oder tweet. Molly sagt moo. So once they have a few animal names and a few things like that, there's so much you could do with it. You just have to think of different ways to bring it in.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
How do you envision, like just a nuts and bolts thing, how do we need to develop a system so that people could, like, if Malud wants to take, some food and Lucia wants to take some food, like, that they can, like,
Right.
say, like, I'm taking these items, like, and I will bring them back by this date. Like, how do you?
Okay, so I kind of started to do that. So this is mostly extra food, and a lot of it is not super practical. But what I thought on a Friday when I'm here, because I teach another class just before, so I can come over on a Friday and we kind of organize some of this. So what I like to do is just have bags of mini lessons.
Okay.
So for example, this needs to be split up, and I have the food mini lesson in here right now. And of course, you don't have to use that, but it's in there in case somebody wants to get some.
And that's also on our website, right?
It's also on the website.
Okay,
Yeah.
Elizabeth has been posting it.
So
Okay.
you could just grab this. It says learning food, and this would be one lesson. So every bag would be in one lesson, and it would just be up to each teacher to try to remember to keep everything together and not lose.
And
any
does it
parts.
have a list of everything? Like, are you envisioning it will have a list once you separate it out? Like,
Well, I mean, it certainly could. Although in the case
I
of
just don't
food,
want to lose things.
I
Like,
know. We certainly could do that.
I don't know. It's up to you.
And that way people, however, if you lose the bread, it just means you can't have bread. Or if you lose cheese, you can't have cheese. There should be plenty of other things in there. However, it is important, I think, for the teacher to try not to lose anything
Yeah, of course.
altogether. So we could put the list of ingredients on there. And then if you just want to do a food lesson, you just come and get this whole thing. And you've got a pretty good range of food items and maybe.
And are you okay with people checking out multiple things? Like, let's say they want to check out food, clothing, and some animals. Like, are you okay with that?
It belongs to World Language Initiative now. So
Okay.
I don't care what
Cool.
we do with it. But we should figure out a way to, so that we can share it through the most people.
Okay.
I would say if you take it, maybe plan on keeping it for no longer than 2 weeks, and that way you get to use it for 2 weeks in a row. Although, see, I like to reinforce
I know
it.
some people. Yeah, like it's
Over
good to
again.
kind of like keep bringing it back.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why I was thinking though, it would be nice to have it's nice to have the actual food items, for example, and the actual animals, but pictures are also a good
Yeah.
addition. And you could have, like, I need 2 sets of everything if I'm gonna do a relay race, so I need quite a bit. But you could have 1 set of actual animals and 1 set of pictures. And frankly, I just ran through yesterday and I just copied a bunch of pictures of food. Here's the Suppe, orange, salad, sandwich, butter, tomate, Apfel. So I put 2 sets of a bunch of food together. So this is what I can do. I can laminate. And I'm happy to do that if somebody wants to send me pictures.
That's really good to know.
Because these, I can do 10 copies of them. And that
Yeah.
way there's
Yeah.
there's a copy for every teacher essentially if they want them.
Yeah.
Um,
What
But-
about No, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, it could be, anything, pictures of animals, it could be anything that you might want to use in your class. If you can send me the pictures of them, I can laminate them. And that way you can it's just so nice to have, okay, das ist gut. It's one thing to say, bread is good, to write it down, but it's another thing to look at it or hold it and say, good. So the more things, the more visuals you have, the better.
If you ever feel like it becomes cost prohibitive for you, or like you're like too many people are sending you, things like to copy and laminate, let us know, because that's, we should work out a system, or like we could help
If
cover
there's a-
costs, I'm sure we could
The
definitely.
laminate pouches are kind of expensive.
Yeah, they are.
They're about 30, I know, I buy it in bulk, but they're still probably 30 cents a piece or so. So if I did a ton of them, then
Yeah.
I would ask for some reimbursement, but also, you know, if there's a ton of laminating to do and a couple people wanna come over to my shop and do it one afternoon, then that'd be fine too.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to do.
And
So,
the printing, would you do the printing too?
I can, yeah. I could do, if
Is
you
the ink
email me.
expensive or like,
Well, you know, the thing is, I do so much printing, and the color ink does need to be used very often, so I don't mind. The ink, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
keep us posted, if we can help supplement.
It's probably more the laminating sheets that are
Yeah.
the most expensive.
I was just about to make a good lesson and I didn't run it because I didn't have enough time, but there was a lot to print and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I didn't laminate it, but I was wishing I had objects, so
Yeah,
it's so much more fun to have the objects.
yeah, it is. And like I said, I just ordered a bunch of other food, and I'll have it next week, so I'll bring that down here as well. Maybe we can come up with a couple of food bags. And what I could try to do is have the same, you know, like if there's 10 items of food here, then it goes along with 10 pictures of the same food. So you've got 2 copies
Yeah.
of everything. You've got the
Yeah.
actual item and a picture of each one.
I had a question. You, when you go to teach an average class, I know in the past you used to have those like that wheelie cart thing that you would like,
Yeah,
you'd put your box in there or your like, and you would have everything in there. And I've seen Hannah Meeks has like a travel suitcase, like a carry-on bag that she puts everything in, like a rolly bag, What, do you have any like recommendations that you've come to that are like for transporting stuff?
transporting.
Yeah,
Well, and I still use that suitcase roller because
Okay.
I tend to bring a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Since I have a lot of stuff. But I've been, for this thing, like I was just trying to get everything in here, which wasn't too bad. I had a lot of stuff because I'm, you know, bringing more today than I normally would.
Yeah.
But I think just a big bag is probably pretty good. A rolling suitcase, if you have a lot to bring, is definitely an awesome.
it's
idea.
amazing, yeah,
You can get a lot of old suitcases from the secondhand store, you know, if you just want one for your
totally.
class stuff.
Okay,
Yeah,
Cool.
that's a really good idea. And then, you know, and just getting, you can buy 100 of these for $2 or $3. And then, you know, you can draw the sun on one of the moon. I brought some of these to show, okay, sun and the moon. And then for weather, if you're teaching weather, es ist bewölkt. Donner und Blitzen. I love to make snowflakes. That's
Oh.
right. That's right. You can make a ton of these, you know, and then some of them rip up, but that's okay because you can make more. Es ist windig. And then es ist windig. Es regnet. Es regnet. Es ist kalt. You know, now somebody else drew this. I can't even draw this good. But yeah, you know, with these you can say, you can draw all kinds of things. Lots of Sonne. Traurig und fröhlich. You know, so you can have a whole bunch of these that have all kinds of visuals that are so easy to just pull out when you're trying to teach the kids something.
And it doesn't get so damaged because I have like some of that, but just in the images, but it's paper. So
It's
at some
paper.
point
Right.
it gets too like I cannot use them over and over because
It rips after a while,
Yeah.
or it's, but these, like this one is very old, this windy one, you can tell it a little bit. I've had this for like 10 years.
Wow.
And you can tell it got kind of wet, but you know, paper plates are really durable, so
yeah.
you can keep them for a long time. And if you have to draw another one,
Yeah.
that's a big deal.
I print, I don't draw.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know
me
like
too.
I would draw.
I need to work on my
I mean, do we have anybody that's a good artist that can draw well?
You know what I've been doing actually when I do want to draw something, if I don't have ink at my house or, you know, time to, you know, whatever, is going on YouTube. You can type in like dog drawing,
Yes.
you know, tutorial, and like it's really, it'll take you through it step by step.
Okay.
And then I've been able to draw things that I've I'm worried about. Like, if I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to draw this chicken, like I went online and figured out how to do it. So those are helpful.
Yeah.
Well, and you certainly could print out a picture of the chicken, for example.
Totally.
Christmas week.
And just glue it on. You could do that. It's just
Yeah.
that that kind of ink, I think, will run if it gets wet, won't it? And the little kid is chewing on it. I guess your ages are in elementary ages, they won't be chewing on it too much. The little kids, they do.
Preschool they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can print it, but if we have somebody on our staff that is a good drawer, I would love to have them, and I would pay them to draw some images, and then we could maybe mass produce them.
Yeah.
It'd be nice for everybody to have a set
Yeah.
That's a good
of things if it's easy and quick to mass produce.
Yeah, we should put out the calls for that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, have you found anyone to work, like, do music linguist stuff with you?
No, and so
So Lucia.
Lucia, what do you do for a living? What do you do for work?
I do some production assistant with my husband in film, but it's not steady. It's not like I have every week income about that. Right now I am writing something for what I am getting paid, and it is time consuming. And I'm starting to teach with the word language.
Your language, yeah. Well, so I would love to, so just real briefly, just kind of I already mentioned about Music Lingua, but so in my program, what we do is we train teachers and license them and help them set up a business of their own. If anybody's interested, if you're interested in talking to me about it, I would love to. Yolanda emailed me about it, but I haven't sent her some information.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that. But the thing is, it really is a business that you want to start because there's a licensing fee. It's $500. But what we do is we train you, we provide you with all the materials to teach your classes and help you set up your own business here in Bozeman. And there's not. I think with Spanish, if we really, now that especially there's more opportunity to learn it in the elementary school. I've already had 2 people just in the last month email me about Spanish. Do you have Spanish Music Lingua? And I have to say, no, we don't. And so
You're still doing German and French, or
I'm
just?
doing German and French, but I would love to find a French teacher too if anybody's interested, because I just kind of need to phase out of the teaching a little bit. There's just so much to do for the rest of the business.
So you have a place where do you do it, or?
I teach at the First Presbyterian Church just on the next block there. And you kind of have to find your own place. It's possible that they would let somebody else teach there too. You just have to talk with them and see. But the churches are a great place to, because I've got all those great Sunday school rooms that are empty all week long. And they're usually happy to get just a little bit of money to be able to hold a class there.
We might be able to let people do it here too.
And I
If you
used to
talk
teach
to
my
Elizabeth.
classes here. I used to
Cool.
teach them here when the Alias Frances was here. We would just like this, sit on the carpet.
Cool.
And teach here. This is a great space. And
Yeah.
it's really centrally located. And again, I paid Gigi, a percentage. I can't remember how much I paid.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of places where you can teach.
And it can be pretty lucrative. Like, there's one woman, is she still doing it in Colorado?
Oh, I've got one woman that has 50 students every 12 weeks. 50 students. She teaches French, and she's got, I think she has 5 or 6 classes a week with, 8 to 10 kids.
Is that her full-time job?
It's not even full-time, but she teaches.
But I mean,
that's all she does.
that's all she does.
And then she raises, she has 2 kids at home. Yeah, and she's now our marketing mentor because she has an MBA and she's an awesome advertising and mentor or marketer.
That's
And
cool.
so she's really helping teachers get like a Google business platform and set up the business so that you really have the best chance of filling your classes and being successful.
That's where I felt like when I was doing it, that like I struggled with the business aspect of it. Like I just couldn't, I don't know. I just didn't feel successful with it.
Yeah, and most of us don't get into it because we're business people. We get
Yeah.
into it because we want to share
Wanna
our
teach,
language
yeah.
with other kids.
Totally.
So the business part is hard. And luckily with this woman, she is an MBA. She has a master's in business administration. So that's her thing. Plus she speaks fluent French. And so
That's awesome.
she knows just how to get a business started. And so I've been making use of her expertise more and more.
Good.
That's been really helpful. But we have quite a few teachers that are really successful. The gal in Boise, Idaho, she teaches both French and Spanish, and she has a lot of students. The Spanish teacher in Colorado Springs also has a lot of students and does really well.
Cool.
So I could set you up to talk with some of those, and you could ask their experience and see how they do it.
Yeah, I'm interested, and it's something that I cannot start right now because of all this other commitment that I have. Maybe next year. Yeah.
Okay, well, keep it in mind, and
Yeah, keep it in
and,
mind.
yeah,
It sounds great.
we can
And do you have like a range of age range that you work with, or is like any?
Well, we say 0 to 8 years old,
Okay.
because in general it's infants, or it's preschoolers, kids that aren't in school yet. But we do have a lot of kids that are in early elementary as well, because it's homeschool families, and they tend to bring the whole family with them. You know, a 2-year-old, a 6-year-old, 8-year-old. And so it works well up to about 8 years old. After that, I still use the songs in the elementary schools with even the 5th graders, but it depends on how you present it.
Yeah.
The songs are really simple, kidsy, and some of the older kids kind of roll their eyes a bit.
Yeah, I saw the videos and I saw smaller kids.
Yeah, mostly smaller kids. And it's nice because there's nothing else for foreign language for the younger kids. And a lot of young moms that are just starting to have kids are looking for something intellectually stimulating to do with their young kids, and something educational to do together. So it's a way for them to maybe learn a language or practice the language and get their kids started on the language, which is the best time to do it. I brought some materials just so you could see in case anybody wants to know what. So for a class, a music lingual class, every student gets a little music lingual bag with some brochures if anybody wants to grab one, although most of it's on the website. And then they all get so here's La vie dans la mer, there's La vie dans le mar, Isa y la silencio. So this is the life in the this is German and this is French. So each student gets this book with the bilingual lyrics for each song, and it's a coloring page. So they can color the pictures, they can point to the words they've learned in the song. And for the older kids, there's some activities in the back. There's usually paper dolls with some clothing that they can cut out and do. And then we ask the parents to have the kids listen to the songs as much as possible at home and in the car. We have MP3s that they can download too, the CD player. And then the kids really listen to the music over and over again. And when they come to class, they're already singing it. They just don't know what it means. So then with all the props, we just sing maybe one new song each week, reinforcing the old ones and teaching them the new material. And again, it's all centered around this theme, but we try to make it kid-friendly vocabulary that they can, it's not what they're going to learn if they were in Mexico or Ecuador playing with the kids, but it's something they can connect with. It's a kid-friendly thing.
Did you make this one?
Well, I had an artist draw it.
Yeah, do you not have the artist still?
Yeah, but she's really expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, she's really talented.
Yeah.
She's a graphic designer. She put the whole book together.
They're awesome.
So, if somebody, and I mean, her art isn't really all that. But it is kind of cute. Funny. She just knows how to do a coloring book technique.
Yeah,
Those big, bold
super cute.
drawings.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then the storybook reinforces, it's the same vocabulary, but it's in a story format, and it's also in English. So the parent can read the story to the kids so that they know what it means. And then in the back, there's an audio CD where a native speaker reads them the story with sound effects and things like that. And then when it says ding, you turn the page. So the child, even the 3 or 4-year-old, can plug this in and listen to the story all by himself, having a native speaker read them the story.
Yes. And how long does it take the training?
8 hours. It's
Ah,
you can do, it's a video online training. The
okay.
main thing is in the training, you learn kind of music lingual methodology,
Mhm.
how we use all of these materials to best teach the class. And then the main thing is practicing, so practicing it with your kids, your friends' kids. We recommend going to a preschool and just volunteering a couple times to practice your lessons with the kids. So you're really comfortable when you finally teach your first lesson.
Exactly.
with parents.
Yeah, practicing makes sense. And
Yeah.
this is my first time teaching this, and so
Yeah.
I kind of feel something and be more comfortable, for example, with groups and with classroom management and all that. So
Right. And the nice thing about teaching parent and child classes is the parents are there with the kids, so they're responsible for the kids.
That's
you
so
know.
that's a good
nice.
thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, so there still is classroom management, but it's more like
Yeah,
you've got a little 1.5-year-old that's just starting to walk and he's wandering around and he wants to
so
take the cow, and he's trying to, and so it's more, you learn ways of saying, oh, no, das ist meine Kuh, du kannst deine Katze haben, I mean, that's like, and the parents are usually pretty good about taking their child and pulling them back, or, and you set those requirements at the beginning of the class. Okay, it's okay if your child is wandering a little bit, but if he comes up to my felt board and starts tearing everything down, please take him away. Or
yeah, I think the parents are.
yeah, it's a big difference. And I'd like to see. I don't mean to create competition with you, but I'd like to see if we could do some music in Manhattan. That's
Oh my gosh, they would love it. They would love
That's
it.
for younger kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I am not doing any pre-K stuff. I just can't.
Yeah.
So it would be perfect because there's a lot of interest, and especially during the day, for pre-K, it would be There's so many parents that want ballet for their kids, but they would love just anything because there's not.
It would have to be moms that aren't working though, or that have the time to do day free.
Right.
When you're But
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. Manhattan. There's a lot of people moving out towards Three Forks and Manhattan
Yeah,
now.
oh my
There's
gosh.
nothing out there for kids programs.
Yes. They would
So
love it.
I think that if someone was interested in teaching a couple of back-to-back classes in Manhattan, and Hannah's got a nice location there where she teaches.
It's like a nice big room with mirrors, and it's kind of and cute lights and stuff. There are no windows, but it's really big, and bring little pillows and stuff. So
Yeah.
and I think she charges $30 an hour to rent out the room or something like that. So it would be great. If you post on the Manhattan Facebook page, would there be any interest for language music classes for pre-K, these ages in Manhattan, during the day? And Manhattan parents love to respond to Facebook, so I'm sure you'll get it. They do.
Is it just called Manhattan Facebook?
It's called, I think it's just Manhattan. Yeah, Manhattan, Montana. Let me see. There's also Manhattan Classifieds, but I think the one I post on is, Manhattan Classifieds actually. That's the one with more people.
But it's a Facebook page.
And it's a Facebook page, and it's very active.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at actually social media, so that's part of the reason why I'm not a very great marketer, because
It's hard, yeah.
But it was helpful to see when I before I started the ballet, to see how much interest there was. Thinking about starting ballet classes for these ages, this fall, on these days, and everyone's yes, so it kind of gives you an idea how many people would want it.
Right.
There's some in-home daycares there that might like it. Or,
that too.
Or in terms of the preschools around here, always want it too.
Preschools around here always want it.
They
Yeah,
always
yeah.
even the rural schools want it.
Yeah.
I used to teach music lingua in
Spring
Cottonwood,
Hill,
Spring Hill,
Cass Creek.
Pass Creek, and Mount Guard. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
I think if you wanted to work in preschools as well, you could work about as many times as you wanted, as many classes as you wanted. I'm partial to the parent and child classes because I feel like that's such a just a great thing for parents to do with their kids, but also to get the kids started. They just learn better when they come with the parents. When they're at the school, they're not necessarily listening. The parents aren't with them, so they don't necessarily understand the value of listening to the music all the time.
Mhm.
And so I don't know. I mean, don't you feel like in this, we'd send the CD home? Like even in the World Language Initiative, I do send the CD home. If I'm going to do like Life in the Ocean for the whole year, I'll use my materials feed to send a little CD, like a little small bilingual lyrics book that I give it with them. But I don't, some of them lose it right away. I don't know that it really works that well. But with the parent and child classes, the kids really do listen to the music at home,
Yeah,
and you can just move so much quickly.
awesome.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you, Gigi.
What can we do to help you clean
Yeah.
up?
I'm just gonna put all this stuff back in, and then maybe Friday.
Yeah. That would be great.
And try to put these together.